Hey everyone, welcome to another video. So today I'm going to be answering one of the most asked questions on my Instagram, and that is how much are makeup artists earning in Sweden and how is it to work as a makeup artist in Stockholm. So now this is going to be a talkie, so get comfy, grab a drink, and let's get right into it. So just a disclaimer, all the numbers that I'm going to be sharing with you today are based on my experiences working in a store, in a school, and as a freelancer in Sweden. So everyone puts different price tags on their services, and of course everyone's salaries are different. So my numbers could possibly be different for everyone. So just keep in mind that everything that I say today is just basically to give you an idea on how much one makeup artist could earn in Sweden. So the makeup industry in Sweden is quite big, and there is a huge market and buying power in makeup alone, but that's not really to say that there is a huge amount of bookings. Maybe not as much as people do in, like, for example, the Philippines, the Middle East, or in the US. All the services, or majority of the services here in Sweden, they're quite on the pricey side because in Sweden, if you do not know, we pay a lot of taxes. Businesses need to charge a little bit higher to be able to pay taxes and to be able to earn some profit on their living. People don't really book for makeup artists unless you are the bride, if you're a celebrity, if you're going to a special event and you're the guest of honor or something like that. And people are really good at doing makeup here, so a lot of people tend to just do their makeup on their own. But don't get me wrong though, it is still very much possible to work as a makeup artist here. Because of the different experiences that I've had in Sweden, I've decided to divide our conversation into 3 parts, and that's just because I want to be more precise and detailed about it, so we could all talk about it in a clear way and no one gets confused. So how is it to work as a makeup artist in Sweden? There are 3 possible ways. The first one is to work in a store as a salesperson or a boutique seller in a makeup store. Number 2, that is to work with a TV company, in a makeup school, or in a fashion brand. Number 3, work as a freelancer. So all these topics I'm going to go through today one by one, just so we have a clear picture, and at the same time I'm going to be explaining how much salary you can earn for each type of job. So let's talk about the first one, working as a salesperson or a makeup artist in a store. So usually this is the easiest, or quite possibly a stepping stone into getting into the makeup artist industry. There are so many stores and there's so many boutiques that look for salespeople. This might not pay the most, but it rewards the highest chances of acquiring clients in the future. So before I get into details about salaries and such, I think it's important that I talk about the working and employment system in Sweden so we can all get into the same page. Now, if you're working for bigger companies like Åhléns, Kicks, and Sephora, for example, most, if not all of these companies usually work with a union, and unions are the ones who set a bar or an approximate amount on how much employees should earn. So now these are called collective agreements. Collective agreements are there to protect the employees, and this is usually what sets the bar for how much salary you earn based on your profile. So the profile is based on your age, work experience, level of education, and basically regularity of work. And by that I mean if you have basically a permanent job that lasts for a specific amount of contract by year or years, if you're working as a substitute that has basically a time frame period, or if you're working as extra wherein they call you when you're needed. So all of these factors are considered when companies are deciding on how much salary one employee should receive. So here we go, how much can you earn as a salesperson or a makeup artist in a store here in Sweden? So I'm going to be talking about the salaries based on a per hour basis and in a 30 to 40 hour work time period in a week. So if you have just finished school, for example, you have almost 0 to little experience working in a store, and you're new in the business, basically you are considered in the entry-level position, and that would range from 125 crowns to 130 crowns. It could be a little bit lower depending on the company, of course, but it's approximately about 125 crowns per hour, and that is of course before taxes. Now, if for example you're my level, I've worked for example 10 years in the industry, I've had more than 5 years experience in sales, and I've had a lot of education from before, I could earn a minimum of 140, 145 crowns per hour. And I'm not saying exact numbers, of course, because that's extremely private, but you could. There is a possibility that the salary would range from 140, 145 minimum and higher, of course, and that is based on an hourly basis and that is before taxes on a 30 to 40 hour work period. So that is just the base amount, and you could also earn overtime pay if it's included in your contract. So to give you a bigger picture, how does it work with overtime pay? So for example, in the makeup industry business where you're working as a salesperson, it's computed this way. From Monday to Friday, your overtime starts from 6:15 to about 8 o'clock. You can get as much as 50% over your normal salary. Monday to Friday after 8 o'clock, your overtime pay extra would be about 70% of your salary. Saturdays after 12 o'clock, you would get 100% of your salary extra. And Sundays and holidays, of course, it's another 100%. It only means that, you can earn more if you're working extra on weekends and holidays, and of course, if you're working on ungodly times. And also, not just that, you can also get vacation pay depending on the type of contract that you have. So basically, if you're working as a salesperson and you have a little bit of overtime here and there plus vacation pay, you could possibly earn about 240,000 crowns minimum in a year. Okay, so let's talk about number 2, the second way for you to be able to work as a makeup artist in Sweden. That is to work in a TV station or a makeup school or a fashion brand. So these three are quite similar because they all, if not most of them, hire makeup artists on a regular basis, like regular employees. So for example, in a TV station wherein you're there from Monday to Friday, for example, and you're doing makeup in multiple celebrities and TV hosts and news anchors. For example, you're working in a makeup school teaching or being as a teacher assistant in a school, you get paid also on a regular basis on a monthly period. And also if you're working for a fashion brand, they would always just book you, depending on a fashion brand of course, but they can book you on a monthly basis. It means that every time that they have a shoot, you would come up, and they don't pay you per person that you're doing, they pay you on a monthly setup. So this is not 100% accurate because of course every company can pay makeup artists depending on their profile differently, but of course you could earn from minimum 20,000 to 25,000 per month. That is the minimum, and that is before taxes. And also these companies, depending on their deals with unions, or if they have unions and collective agreements, you could also earn overtime pay and of course vacation pay. And last but not the least, and this is the trickiest one of all, number 3, working as a freelancer. This is sort of the easiest because you can control your own time. You are your own boss, and basically you can control how much bookings you want and where you want to go to and which clients you want to accept when doing your bookings. You can also select if you want to just do weddings, if you want to do photo shoots only. Your salary wouldn't be as accurate every month just because, it depends on how much bookings you're gonna get. It depends on what type of clients you're handling, and it depends on what type of work you're doing. So earning as a freelancer is quite tricky because in principle, you need to put up your own company. You have to start your own company, and of course you need to pay taxes. Why? Because that's how you do it in Sweden. All the businesses here, especially the ones that need to send out receipts to clients or to people they do services for, you're supposed to send receipts to them and you're supposed to pay taxes. So now if you feel, for example, that maybe you're just beginning, you're starting your own career here in Sweden and you're not sure if you're gonna be doing a lot of makeup work in the beginning, and you don't want to go through the hassle of putting up your own company, there are also companies that you could hire, basically like the accountants of your company, and they would be sending the receipts to your clients, and they would be taking the payments from your clients as well, and they will be sending you your payment but already with a cut. So obviously nothing is free, so they take a pay cut. The only difference is the pay cut is quite large, like it's really a punch in the gut. You charge a certain amount and you receive less than half of it just because they pay the taxes plus you pay them a little bit. So that's not really so ideal. So my tip to you, if you want to start as a freelancer in Sweden, open your own company. It's free and you will be able to pay taxes. And of course, because you're paying taxes and because you can send receipts, you will be able, or there is a chance that you could book bigger clients and bigger companies that need makeup services. So let's talk about home service, hair and makeup. So a lot of people here could be possibly booking you for a service where they're going to be a maid of honor, or they're going to attend a special event and they're going to take lots of pictures in that specific event. You can charge a minimum of 1,500 crowns per person, and that's just the makeup. You can also charge another 1,500 if you're doing the hair. So now here, makeup and hair is quite the same in prices. It's up to you how much you want to charge your hair. If you feel that you're just gonna do simple curls, you can charge less, but basically makeup, you charge a minimum of 1,500. Now, if you hear other makeup artists that charge lower, I don't know how they can do that because taxes are so high, but in general, it's about 1,300 to 1,500. There are also some makeup artists that are newbies or they are just starting out in the industry and they could charge about 1,100 to 1,200, and that's perfectly fine. So if you're charging a bride, how much would you charge her? So for my end, I could charge a minimum of 4,000 crowns just because there's a little bit of a premium doing bridal makeup. You know, you put extra effort on everything. You can do a facial massage, for example. You can thread their eyebrows or pluck their eyebrows, color their eyebrows and their eyelashes, and at the same time you can apply false lashes if they don't have extended lashes already. So, and at the same time, of course, you're going to be there on the day. You take more time and you travel to their hotel. You have a bigger setup, and yeah, but that 4,000, it's just like a minimum amount. Of course, you could always charge higher. I know a few makeup artists, actually, they're amazing. They're really, really good at their craft, and they charge up to 7,000 to 8,000 crowns. And of course, it depends on how much they've been working here in Sweden and their clientele. So now, for example, you want to do photo shoots, editorial jobs, you can charge a minimum of 3,000 for the whole day, and that is for, like, you know, editorial makeup. So that's a little bit less complicated, I would say. It depends really on what type of editorial job you're doing, but if you're doing a photo shoot for a portfolio, usually that's more on the natural side. If you're doing something for a magazine, that's definitely more editorial makeup, clean, crisp, and not so much fuss. So I would say that you could charge maybe a minimum of 3,000 crowns, and that's with a little bit of retouch, that's with a few looks. You can also charge higher, of course, depending on the workload. There's also another way of freelancing in Sweden, and that is renting your own chair in a salon. So how does this work? There are salons that actually open their doors to individuals that can share the rent in their location. Usually they open up a chair or open up a spot or a room for you where you can rent out, pay the rent to them, but all of your earnings from your clients that came to the salon will be yours. This works also good if you feel a little bit paranoid going into someone else's home, or if you don't like people coming into your own home just to do the services. So this is possible if you feel also that you don't want to bring your stuff all around and you feel that you want to be steady in one position and you want clients to just find you there all the time. So that's a good idea also if you feel that you can't afford to build your own business yet, or you can't afford to open up your own makeup studio yet, but you want to be in a specific studio or in a good location in the city. So now you want to know how much you could possibly earn as a makeup artist freelancer. I can't give you specific numbers, unfortunately, just because it's so different. Being a makeup artist in Sweden actually takes a lot of effort and passion just to be able to earn a living. A lot of us here don't actually just have one job. We have like 2 to 3 jobs. Like all the tips that I've given you today, all the types of jobs that I've given you today, I've done them all, and I've done them all at the same time. There was a time in my life that I was, you know, daytime, like 8 to 5, I was in the school. 6 to 9 p.m. I would be at the mall working in a store, and on weekends I would do makeup jobs on the side for bridals or for weddings and special events. I almost did not have days off, actually. Maybe I would have one or maybe none. So that's how you really want to work your way into the industry in the beginning, especially if you want to meet more clients. So if you're imagining a glamorous life as a makeup artist, unfortunately that is not the case, but I would tell you it is quite rewarding and very fun. So at the end of the day, we all regard ourselves differently, and we know how our services are, we know how we perform, we know how our work ethic is. So it's just basically an idea of how much you could possibly earn. And as I said, this is like maybe the 10th time that I'm saying it. Take everything that I say with a grain of salt. Don't fight me in the comment section down below saying, oh, you're earning this amount, I'm wrong. No, these numbers aren't facts. These are sort of an approximate. They could be facts for some people, maybe to me somehow, but these are just an idea and just to give you a picture of how much you could possibly be earning. So yeah, that is it. I hope that I answered all your questions in this video, and let me know in the comment section down below if there's anything that I missed or if there's anything that you want me to get into more detail in, and I would love to answer them for you. So please, 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 please click the like button if you like this video. Click subscribe as well if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye!